Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're strapped in for another whirlwind of a video here at Life with the Bridges. Welcome back to our channel, Life with the Bridges. For those who don't know us, this is me, Scott. This is my wife, Katie, and this is our son, Super Ted. We are the Bridge family, trying to get the most out of this rat race we all call life. In September 2021, we found our dreams had come true. We were expecting a new addition to the Bridge family. We spent the next 9 months like any normal parents would, preparing our life for the arrival of our new baby boy. On the 11th of May 2022 at 11:11 AM, we were blessed with the birth of our son. He was perfect. We instantly felt love like we'd never experienced before, and our family of 4 we've always dreamed of was finally complete. We had the most magical first 8 months with Teddy, experienced all that life had to offer. Then, on the 24th of February 2023, our whole world got turned upside down when we got told our 9-month-old son had been diagnosed with high-risk AML Leukaemia.
Do not take life for granted.
We spent the next 6 months, 184 days to be exact, at Great Ormond Street Hospital. He endured 2 rounds of chemotherapy, a full bone marrow transplant, in hope that this would save our son's life. It was important to us that we documented every part of his journey to raise awareness and give childhood cancer the exposure it deserves. After riding the hellish and unpredictable storm, Teddy made it to the end of his treatment and rang that bell. You are joining us now in our next chapter of this journey at home at Bridge HQ as we try to rebuild our life and continue to spread awareness about what it's like to have a child post-cancer and transplant in hope that this second chance at life we have been given is forever. So if you're interested in following our journey, don't forget to like our videos, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell as we document our life as the Bridge family.
Welcome back to a new episode here with Life with the Bridges. If you didn't see our last video, we are currently going through a really tough time in our local hospital with our son Teddy, fighting a double line infection in his Hickman line. This can be absolutely catastrophic if gone wrong, but so far we feel like it's going okay and we kind of have it under control to a certain extent until the end of our last video. In the end of the last video, we found out that he had a second bug growing in his line, and that bug is a yeast which can lead to loads of different fungal infections and potentially can affect his lungs if it is already running in and around his system. So as of last night, Teddy was down asleep, Kate was in hospital with him, and they got pulled out of bed to have a CT scan at about 9 o'clock last night, which all went fine, but we haven't had any results back of that. And after this dog walk, I'm heading into hospital to join Kate, and we have got a whole array of different tests that they want to check as a precautionary to see if the fungus has got into these organs. We had the CT, which is his chest. We've got an echocardiogram, which is his heart. We've got eyes, liver, and lungs, I think. We've got loads of different checks and tests to go, basically to understand, to see if the yeast has been found in any of those, in which case I think they will have a very low threshold in terms of getting us straight up to Great Ormond Street Hospital and taking that line out to stop it further producing yeast and pushing yeast around the body any further. So we have got one hell of a week coming up. We just don't know where it's going to go, and it is fight mode. But for now, I've just finished my morning of clients. I'm just out on a dog walk because we're going to be in hospital all day, so Willow needs walking, and then she can just sleep the whole day, and then we are going to tackle the day with both hands and just pray for the best results. As you can see, in the UK, it has snowed overnight, so it is freezing, but this is a beautiful walk. that is local to our house, but today is not a time to enjoy the scenery. It is a time to get Willow walked and get to hospital as quick as I possibly can. Myself and Katie are trying everything in our power just to juggle our lives as well as this unknown result of what's going to be happening with Teddy. We both are working full time, so at the minute it's been working because obviously I do all my clients from 5 a.m. till about 9 a.m. For me to still work, it means that I kind of have to be at home to be ready to get up at 4 a.m. So Kate has been doing the majority of the nights at hospital, and then after I finish my clients, I go in and look after Teddy for the majority of the day, and then Kate comes back to do the evenings. Is it ideal? No. Is it working? Yes. I'm kind of trying to juggle my diary, so midweek she gets a night off as well, just so she gets time to fully rest. Stay tuned with us as we are going to, over the next few days, take you with us. Will we be able to save this line and get this yeast infection out of his line, or will it take us straight up to Great Ormond Street Hospital to have an emergency surgery to get the line out? Which, if that is the case, it will mean a cannula has to be fitted into his hand so he can still apply medication and take blood. And then that's the decision whether we put another line in or other options, but that is down to Great Ormond Street. But as everything, we will worry about things when they present themselves, but today we've just got to get into hospital and get these tests sorted, so stay tuned.
I was but a fool then, know that I was stupid, fluid, losing what we were, know that I was stupid, I was but a fool then, know that I was stupid.
It is mind-blowing and never ceases to amaze me how quickly things can change. In the space of 8 hours yesterday, we walked him to some bad news thinking that his double line infection had one negative culture in one of the lumens, and providing that the second one came back as negative, we'd be in for a further 10 days worth of treatment. There was our first twist and turn. Second twist and turn, we got told that it could have all been contamination from the person who took the blood in the first place. So some germs or whatever have come off their hand and contaminated the blood or the sample, and therefore they provided negative cultures. We could come off all antibiotics and go home within 48 hours. So then 30 minutes later, get a call from microbiology telling us that there is yeast growing in Teddy's line, which opens up a whole new can of worms, all in the space of 8 hours, which is why we always stick to the saying of don't worry about anything until it presents itself, and live minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, as things just change so much. Like if you think of our circumstances now, the long meeting that we had with the doctor about the yeast in the line, we were asking questions like, what does this look like, and how likely is it that this line is going to have to come out? And the long and the short of it is pretty likely, because they're going to have a very low threshold to whipping that line straight out if it's going to cause Teddy's body any more damage. If you go down a rabbit warren about where our life's going to be in the next 24, 48, 64 hours, it's not even worth thinking. It's not going to bode well, because it may not happen or it may get worse. Control the controllables, ladies and gentlemen. Do I know my next step? Yeah, walking Willow, getting in the car and getting to hospital. What happens at hospital, I deal with when I get to hospital.
Thumbs up. Say love you.
Yes, sir.
Good boy. Love you, Daddy.
Right, here goes another day. Let's go. I'm hot-footing it to hospital now. If you ask me how my last 15 minutes has gone, it's gone pretty badly, to be honest, and I don't really know why. I think for some reason I've taken myself down a little rabbit warren that I try not to do on a daily basis, and that is, it's just going to come out of the blue and sound really random, but it's the honest truth of what it's like to live on a day-to-day basis in the thoughts of a parent that's going through this with his child. And for the first time, I don't know why I didn't control it, but I let myself think too deeply into what it would be like to lose Teddy. And as I said, it's something that happens on a very, very frequently basis because of what we're going through and how realistic his chances are and whatever, but I constantly block it off, and me and Kate have spoken about it and we're open to speak about it because I think it's important to understand the logistics about what would happen, and a lot of the time you can't answer it, because I don't think you can ever put yourself in those shoes until it happens, or if it happens. But there's just a lot of social media going on at the minute where other parents are, you know, going through similar things with their children, and not all is going well, you know, and it's devastating. And so I think that's where it stemmed from. And the only coping mechanism I've found is to, I don't know, you've just got to try and find a positive to the situation. And I've always gone down the route of, look, we knew his statistics from when we first started out, and they were never great, and we've surpassed them, and we've managed to have Christmas all together and all these different things. So I think that's been my coping mechanism, to almost feel appreciative of the time that we have had with him. So, and then that stops it for me. That's usually where it ends, and I look into the future and think the only way that I think you to ever find any sort of happiness again, because there will just be a void that is completely unfillable, would be to go and give back. Would be to, you couldn't just live a normal lifestyle anymore. Would have to, you know, I don't know, go abroad and give to an African country and give back, because a normal life wouldn't be normal anymore, you know. And that's kind of where I was at. But yeah, I didn't have control over where my thoughts were going, and I was just in a daydream, and got myself in a bit of a muddle, to be honest, because I don't think you can ever prepare yourself for how hard it would be and the devastation that would be caused. And we constantly keep saying, oh, just don't worry about things until they present themselves, and that's true, and we do that on a daily basis, and for 20 hours of the day it works, you know, because you can't control everything. And just, yeah, don't waste your time worrying about things that you can't control, which I get. But this time I let myself slip, and yeah, it's not nice. It really isn't nice, and I'm not even sure you'll be able to function. I'm not even sure, like, I was about to say whether life would be worth living, you know, but I'm not going to take myself back down that route. I've got to go into this hospital with a positive mind and a positive attitude. But I think during this whole process, you don't mind the tough times, because you know that you've got good times coming, if that makes sense. Like, and so we sit there and go, when all the way through chemo and BMT and whatever, we're sitting there going, well, 6 months was the time frame in our head, and weirdly enough, we kind of stuck to that time frame. But yeah, you've got to have something to strive towards and allow you to get up every day again and keep this positivity. Otherwise you just crumble, you just have a meltdown. So my coping mechanisms have been sharing our journey, and doing all these videos for you guys and other people that are invested in our time and our journey, and hopefully this helps out other parents to know what's to come and know what our journeys is like, rather than just be felt left in the dark. So that was my coping mechanism, and it's kind of channeled my mind into being able to fix my mind on something, you know. And so yeah, and I'm forever grateful that I've kind of fallen into this life of YouTube and sharing, because it's been my safe haven. It really has. So I don't know, it's a tough one. I'm very much one of these people that lives to have something to look forward to. I always need something to look forward to. Once, like, every time I'm finishing one adventure, I want to kind of plan the next, you know. So I'm not just living this mundane lifestyle that we just living to work and working to live. Like, I don't want that. And we've always said since Teddy got discharged after his treatment or whatever, that our life would never be the same. And unfortunately, at the minute, we can't do any different. We're just stuck in this round robin of his recovery, which is absolutely fine. We just know that, again, one of the coping mechanisms, knowing that and hoping and praying that the future that we have all together is bright and I'm hopeful. And if we didn't have that, we would have nothing. We would have given up. Like, you have to have something that keeps you ticking over to allow you to get up every morning. So I don't know, I just hope all this line infection stuff doesn't put a huge spanner in the works, because I don't know if you guys remember, but we are still waiting for our BMA results, and we've got chimerism results that are days away, and his big BMA results that we had next to 5-6 weeks ago that tell us whether he's still clear of cancer in the bone marrow. We still haven't had those back. So not only have we got all of this stuff that was going on with his line infection, and whether we're going up to Gosh imminently to have his surgery to have it removed and then put back in, on top of the worry of waiting whether he is actually still cancer free or not. It's crazy. This life is crazy, and sometimes it feels like it's never ending. But a year's a long time, and I know that a lot changes in a year, and we look back at where we were last year and a lot changes. So I hope that we will look back a year post-transplant or a year from now even and just go, oh, they were tough times and things have got a lot better. And I'm sure there's room for things to get a lot worse as well, which is always very humbling, but who knows. As I said, I'm on the way to hospital now, and just fingers crossed for a good day. The sun's shining, and kind of given up on these magpies because I've seen loads of pairs of magpies and we end up having nothing but bad news, to be honest. So maybe I should hang my magpie shoes up and let them just flutter off into the distance. And here's another thing that puts a lot in perspective. My mind was wandering whilst I was driving. I was sitting there going, I can't believe, I bet all these people that are driving to work got kids at home that are absolutely like healthy. What are they struggling with today, and what are their worries, and complaining about house bills and all the rest of it, and I'm in there about to go and spend another day in hospital with my son that's not very well. Then I flipped the coin and we're like, we have an opportunity still to fight for my son. We have an opportunity to get his line out and keep him well. We have an opportunity to live a future all together. There are parents and potentially people driving around me that also don't have that opportunity, have lost their children, are losing their children currently as we speak. So it's all about perspective, ladies and gentlemen. There is always somebody that is going through something worse than you out there, and yes, your times are hard and you're more than entitled to, to struggle and appreciate your struggle at the time, but there is always a worse scenario around the corner. And not saying it's always going to happen, but it's always good to kind of put things in perspective and kind of give yourself a little shake sometimes, and not always kind of need a pity party. Sometimes you just need to appreciate your situation, even if it's bad. So that's my message out there. That's my ending point before I head into hospital, and hopefully that's kind of a lot better sort of attitude than just constantly feeling sorry for yourself, Tough one. But right now I am going into hospital. I'm 2 minutes away, so fingers crossed for a good day. Here we go, another day. I look exactly the same as the day before, but I promise I am changing my pants and my t-shirt, just my jumper and my gilet and my hat. Here we go, entering the room, pure positivity. Let's go. The question is, what will today bring? There is so many options, so many unknowns, that the only way to find out is to dive headfirst in. So let's go. Into Hedgehog Ward we go.
I've got a crispy.
So today's plan is, he had his CT scan last night with Katie at around about 9 o'clock, which is a pain in the ass, but that's come back with, basically they think they can see some sort of infection on there, so they're sending it over to Gosh to compare with the one that we had a few weeks back to see what their thought process is on that. And in terms of the test that we've got to come today, at 11 o'clock we have some eye drops coming up which help dilate his pupils, and then at 12 o'clock we have an eye test. Then later on we've got a ultrasound of his stomach and all of the organs around his stomach, and then later on we've got an ECG, which is an echocardiogram for his heart. But yeah, that's our plan of attack. Just got to tick everyone off the list. Time to administer his eye drops. Snip that for me, darling. So just be strong. Open up your eye. Good boy.
Done it?
All good.
Well done, Ted. Clap, clap.
Clap, clap, up, strong boy.
Woo!
See your crisps. So we have to administer an eye drop in each eye every 5 minutes for 20 minutes. So that's not too bad. They're really hard to get in because he just does that, and then the drop just dribbles out. I kind of kind of got one in each eye, the first one, but I'm going to absolutely drench the eye on the second 5 minutes because then I get a new sachet for the next 2 times. We're going to do it 4 times. What a legend, this boy. Still swollen as. Look at his round face. He's got the steroid moon face. This is the eye drops that we're giving him, just in a little sachet. I'm going to get 2 of these. Second round in, you can see slightly wetter eyes because I drenched him that time. Even the nurse who was just witnessed it was just like, he is incredible. Like, I've seen so many kids, like, you have to get 2 nurses to pin him down, and he just laid back, finished eating one of his crisps. I laid him down, quickly squirted in both eyes, sat him back up and resumed. I'm not sure whether it makes it harder or easier because he's so good at these things and he just makes it so easy for us. It's just like, it makes it even harder to keep doing it to him because you're just like, you're just beyond incredible. But also, if he was terrible at these sort of things, I'd understand, I get it. Like, it's awful what he's having to go through, but 2 done, 2 to come. Also, the nurse has just told me that basically what happens is it basically helps dilate the pupil. So it allows the eye doctor as such to see right through the back of the eye, which is, yeah, a bit of useful information. Hence why we need to drown his eyes so his eyeballs are like that. Right, here comes eye drop number 3. I'll try and show you as best as I can. Right, Teddy, I'm just going to do your eye drops again, darling. You're fine. No, sorry, it's pain. Just open up, darling. All done, all done. Only 1 more to go. 3 done, 1 to come. Big. Whoa! Good boy. Simple as that. Last eye drop, Teddy. Last one. Oh no, all done, baby. You're absolute legend. Done. I promise, that was the last time. All done. Good boy. See what the pupils like. God, look at the size of them. Look at that dustbin lids. God, you have to see right through to the back of the brain. Eye drop's done. As you can see here, the eye drops have done the job and his pupils have hugely dilated. So this is his first proper dose of his antifungal, and it has to be covered up by this bag because it reacts really badly to light, which is weird. But hopefully that is going to go and sort out the yeast in one of these lines. Whichever one it is, kill it. Go get it. It was time for the ophthalmologist, also known as the eye doctor, to check for any abnormalities.
Hello. Oh yes, let me have a little look. That's a proper squeeze, isn't it? Yeah. Great. Well done. Well done.
So well, mate.
Our second test of the day was an ultrasound of his heart, also known as an echocardiogram. In true bridge fashion, we used teamwork of me holding his iPad and Katie comforting him, and Teddy completely took it in his stride. The heart specialist actually said Teddy's age group is usually the worst at having this done, as they usually kick and scream, and any elevation in heart rate and breathing makes the lungs block the heart, and it makes it really hard to get a good reading. Whereas Teddy was an absolute hero, and we are forever proud of him being so brave. With 2 tests done, that brings another day to a close.
Good night, my boy.
Daddy.
I'm going home now. Going to see Willow. I'll be back in the morning. Yeah?
Yeah.
You say be a good boy for mummy. Woohoo! You say love you.
Love you.
Good boy. I love you too, mate. Another day done and dusted. Heading back to see Willow. And we're still in Pembury. We're still in our local hospital. And but we have had some updates. So today, out of the 4 tests that we were hoping to get done, being his eyes, ultrasound, echocardiogram and CT scan. CT was obviously done yesterday, and that has come back with some bits that are slightly concerning, just abnormalities in the lungs, nothing too bad, but just not a stereotypical normal lung. So that has been sent off to Gosh to compare in comparison to the one that we had about 6-7 weeks ago. That's the CT. Then we had the eye doctor, which you saw me putting the eye drops in. Had the eye doctor, and the eye doctor came back all good. He said his eyes are fine and nothing untoward, perfect. Then we had his ECG, which is echocardiogram, which is like an ultrasound of his heart, and that is all good, which is amazing because just the thought of his heart being bad is just would send you over the edge. But then the ultrasound we didn't actually manage to get done, unfortunately, so hopefully that'll be tomorrow. And yeah, that's the last one to be done. Following on from that, the news that we did receive was that the yeast infection in one of his lines was actually one that is quite rare. It's not a common part of the yeast family. Unfortunately, the chances of it actually being addressed and sorted via medication in the line is pretty slim. So they're going to try, but she said just prepare yourself for a line removal sometime in the near future. So we think that we're going to have Teddy's double line taken out, which means up to Gosh and surgery for Teddy, a cannula fitted, and after that we don't know. It's not 100% official, but we're pretty sure. So we're mentally preparing ourselves. How long that means we're up in London for, don't know. What that means in terms of treatment of the yeast infection, we don't know. Still so many unknowns, but yeah, another page is turned and some more bad news to add to the book. Another day done. We're still in the local hospital. I still get to go home tonight to see Willow again, and if we're still in Pembury tomorrow, I'm doing the overnight stay with Teddy, and Kate's going home for a well-deserved rest, and we reset and go again. But for now, time to go home. My God, it is freezing. It's -3 degrees here in the UK. Just finished my morning of clients. It was super, super busy. Kate had a really rough night with Teddy. Apparently he was really uncomfortable all night and just didn't spend longer than an hour asleep. So she is exhausted. So my goal is to get to hospital as quick as possible as soon as my windscreen defrosts. And yeah, and then I'm there tonight, provided we don't get sent up to Gosh. I've also got my sister coming in today, which would be lovely just to kind of give us a little bit of a respite of another face on the ward. Another day, we start again, reset, keep pushing forward. But for now, home and hospital I go.
There's no rest for the wicked. Let's just say this morning started with an absolute nightmare.
Oh my good Lord, Teddy. Ted, what's happened? Got a fucking hole in his line.
No.
How did that just happen?
She pushed the medicine in. She was like, oh, I think it's just squirted out. And she pushed a little bit more, and then twisted a little bit further, and pushed a little bit more, and it just kept coming out.
Yeah.
Well, we were quick on the old clamps.
Not to blow our own trumpet, but we were incredibly lucky that we were in a hospital when this happened, and we were on hand, as we know how to deal with it, and we got taught this from Gosh. But most importantly, Teddy was oblivious and was absolutely fine.
You got a big tummy. You put a pin in it, go pop.
Mama. Mama.
So the white line with the yeast in it is now out of action.
With this line being in since Teddy's diagnosis, this was almost a sign. Not only did it have a triple line infection, it had now burst. It was almost like Teddy saying it was time for it to come out.
This journey never ends. So he was just having his medication at 10:30, and as she was pulling back and pushing in the medication, his line split. So as she was pushing the medication in, all the blood started pouring all out over his leg, and she thought it had just come loose. So then she pulled back and pushed again, and this big squirt of blood just pissed out everywhere all over his leg. And so I had to rush to his changing bag and grab the clamps and clamp it below and above like we were taught, and managed to stop the bleeding, which was lucky because the nurse almost panicked and didn't know what to do. But luckily we got taught at Gosh, that's how you deal with it if it happened to us. So all clamped, and our CNS here is on the phone to Great Ormond Street because they can't do anything about it here. We've just got to head to Gosh and deal with it there. So the line has made the decision for us whether we were going to Gosh or not, and we are. Back to London we go.
But the one thing that hadn't changed was Teddy was still in great spirits.
Wow, Teddy. H made a very good point in a way that they say it comes in threes. So we had the bacterial infection, the fungal infection, and now the split line. So that's our three. So if we could have some good luck from here on out, that'd be fantastic. As an update, we are heading to Great Ormond Street Hospital tomorrow. They have a bed for us. We've got to be there for 9 a.m, so we're potentially getting transported there. So we're staying overnight in our local tonight, and then heading to Gosh for either the line out, either a line repair. We don't know. We're just waiting to hear, but we know that we're going to Gosh tomorrow at 9. So It's all fun and games.
So I don't know how long you're going to be there because it's the emergency list. So it's obviously getting him down to theatre when they have a gap. They're going to phone you to go through it all anyway.
Okay, perfect.
The emergency list will probably be an all-day list, and the fact that they want you there by 9 o'clock might mean that it might be an afternoon list. So let's just see what they come back with when she rings.
So there we have it. We are heading up to Gosh tomorrow at 9 a.m. Yeah, going to have this line out. I don't really know what it means or whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but either way, it's got a split in it and a bug in it. That thing needs to come out. So an unexpected trip to Gosh pending. We're just gonna sit tight, keep our fingers crossed that everything goes well, and another bump in this road. I can't wait to live on a flat road. I don't like all these bumps. Currently, Teddy has a clamp either side of the split in the line, and he's got to sleep like that tonight. So the risk of infection is huge, and the risk of the clamp coming undone and him leaking blood is there, but they can't do anything about it because they've got nothing else to clamp it with. So they're not meant for long-term clamping, but we can't get to Gosh until tomorrow, so it's going to be one sleepless night for me. So this is our current scenario. Look, clamp on the top, clamp on the bottom, and the splits around about there. It's just a pain in the arse, and that sleeping tonight is going to be a nightmare. You got to do what you got to do. This one's the only one that's working, so we pray this one doesn't break between now and tomorrow. Triple clamped. 1, 2, 3. Remembered that we had an old school oxygen gas line bag. What a treat! So we've given him a little handbag. Keep that from off the floor, or you kneeling on it, won't it, mate? We haven't got a time for surgery. We just got to wait and ride it out and see what time he goes. But because he's on the emergency list, unfortunately, that means it could be any time. So we've got to be up there for 9. So if he happens to go first on the list, then that's amazing. We're ready. But it could also drift into the PM list. So it could be a very, very long day. But his last feed can be at 2 o'clock in the morning tonight. He can't have any food after 2 a.m. and then he can have water up to 6:30 a.m. and then that is it. He is nil by mouth, ready for surgery. And the other annoying thing is that his clamps that are clamping his line with a hole in it keep coming off. So I've clamped them in place and taped them all in so they have less opportunity to come up, because that is going to give me 0 sleep, because I am literally going to be panicked that the clamps are going to come undone and he's going to bleed out. So 0 sleep coming up for me, but another day in the life. Nappies and milk got from the car, and that is my last trip out of the fresh air until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, when we, as the Bridge family, head up to Great Ormond Street Hospital to go and sort this line out. And I hope it's nothing too bad. I hope the surgery goes well, but we shall see. But now, let's go into the night and hope these clamps stay clamped. Otherwise, we could have a bigger problem on our hands. So we have had an update from Gosh, and we have a plan. So tomorrow we leave here at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to Gosh for 9, and he is on the emergency list. So hopefully that line will come out sometime in the morning. If not, he'll get pushed onto the PM list and that line will come out. And then, providing Teddy is all stable, the cannula will be fitted for 48 hours worth of medication and cultures, which is where they test the blood to make sure that he is kind of still bug free. We will be coming back to our local because there isn't bed space at Gosh, which isn't ideal, but it's a good thing because it means it allows me to still work, and we're obviously close to home, so hopefully we're up and back in one day. And this is the plan, by the way. This doesn't mean it's actually happening, because we all know things don't go to plan. Secondly, in that process, they're going to check his lymphocyte subsets, which basically is how well his new immune system is doing. If it is doing really well and established, there may be a possibility of him not needing a new Hickman line put in, which would be incredible because it reduces risk of sepsis and everything like that, like exactly what we're going through now, which will be incredible, which is an amazing achievement to have post-transplant. But obviously, if his immune system isn't doing so well, then we'll have to go back up to Gosh to have another line put in. Then we've just had our first bit of good news. So his chimerism results have just come back as well, because again, they haven't told us. We just said, oh, whilst you're there and we're having rubbish news, what's his chimerism? Just kind of put the icing on the cake. And she said, it's actually good news of his chimerism. His myeloid part of the chimerism is still 100%, and his T cells, which were 73%, is now 85%. So they've gone up, which is huge news. Huge news. So it is a little pick-me-up that we needed after such a terrible 7 days. So incredible news. Hey, my boy. We're going to get up and get that horrible buggy lion out. Oh, and then we'll be back, hopefully, to push on forward again and enjoy our life. But for now, this little boy needs some milk. But tomorrow is a huge day. This is your penguin. It stays in your bed, doesn't it? Yeah, it goes on your bed. Standing. Excuse you, poor penguin. Oh, you okay? Are you alright?
Hi.
Good boy. Gonna give the penguin a cuddle. Look. Oh, poor penguin. You're gonna give him a cuddle. Oh, that's mean. Penguin needs to go to hospital. Shock, we're in hospital. Of course he doesn't need to go to hospital. He lives in a chuffing hospital. Another whirlwind of a day. Walked in here, still waiting for cultures, assuming that the line was going to come out at some point. For the line to split, to definitely have it out. To then be told that we're going to go up to Great Ormond Street to potentially stay there. To then be told that it's then going out and we're coming back in one day. To then be told that his chimerism results have increased. We literally live a whirlwind. An absolute whirlwind. And this boy is at the forefront of this whirlwind. He is the heroic tornado that we all need in our life, but just a little bit more of a chilled, slower paced life would be fantastic, especially this is aging me beyond belief. Thanks to Ted, the morning had started bright and early, so we were all up and it was time to make Teddy's meds. With Katie leaving home to come and collect us and take us up to Great Ormond Street Hospital, it was time to get this cubby changed in preparation for a big day ahead. Once again, as a team and as the Bridge family, we do everything together. If one of us struggles, we all struggle, and we strive on forward through happiness and health. Just gonna get this line out. Look at the state of this. Let's go. With our life all packed up from our local hospital, we had one hell of a day coming up. Here we go, up to Gosh. Will we make it back here on the same day? But it's -2 here. It's going to be a cold journey up to London. But time to get this dodgy line out. That brings this video to a close. Make sure you come back for our next video to see how Teddy's line removal goes. And will we ever get out of hospital? Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and remember, live for today, as tomorrow is never promised.